And the people, everybody's ready here? Okay. All right, good morning, everybody. Court will begin with the October 31st, 2022 docket. And let me see what I have here. I see Mr. Michael De Leon.
Good morning, Judge.
Yes, sir, good morning. And that'll be number 6. And Mr. Henry Falcon?
Is that ready for you yet, Mr. Judge? I'm sorry.
Yes, Judge. Okay. On behalf of the defendant, State Farm Woods, I am present.
All right, good morning, sir. We're here on CL 22-18-98D, Robert Olvera versus State Farm Lloyds. It's a hearing on an appointment of an umpire?
Yes, Judge.
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, gentlemen. That's your motion, Mr. De Leon?
Yes, it is, Judge. At this time, the case is ripe for an appointment of an umpire. We haven't filed our list of proposed names. We will do that this morning.
Okay.
And so we'll have that. We'll have that to you within the next 30 minutes. I'm not sure if State Farm has already submitted their proposed list for the court's consideration.
We have not yet, Your Honor. We just asked that it is someone who is impartial, but we can submit that as well, Your Honor.
Okay, then, all right, then do that, please. So I can look at the list today, this afternoon, hopefully, and come up with a choice. So anything else, gentlemen?
The order been filed?
That's all defense has, Your Honor.
Oh,
That's all
okay,
we have.
okay, then, Mr. De Leon, you need to file an order to appoint, okay, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, and
And
then
what-
I'll have to look at all the list, and then we'll go from there, okay?
And
So
we'll
then
file
that-
our I'm sorry, Judge, and we'll file our recommendation as well, the defense.
Yes, yeah, oh,
Okay.
yes, very well. Okay, thank you all so much. You'll have a great day. You're
Thank you,
excused.
Judge. Can we be excused?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Bye-bye. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Here we have the next one.
Number 5.
Number 5, CL 21-1303D, Emma Quesada versus United Property and Casualty Insurance Company. And we have Mr. Shattuck. Yes, sir. Good morning. And then we have Mr. De La Garza.
My name is Priscilla de la Garza. I'm appearing on behalf of Rafael.
All right. Good morning, Priscilla. Let me put it here. Priscilla
Morning.
De La Garza. Who else is appearing? Anybody else?
I think that should be it.
Yeah, that should be it.
Okay. Now we're set for status hearing, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And what is that about?
This is a status hearing. We requested this hearing. We had a previous hearing on June 15th. Rafael appeared at that one. On that date, the court heard arguments from both counsel on the issue of upholding the appraisal award or setting it aside. The court heard the argument on the umpire's award and requested at the end that we both submit copies of communications between the appraisers and the umpire. The name of the umpire is Jorge Luis Ortegon. He was appointed by the court a year ago. As the court will clearly see in the communications that we submitted a brief, and so did respondent. My client's appraiser, the umpire, we were consistently communicating with their appraiser. He was never responsive, cooperative. The umpire ultimately issued an award of $139,000, and we're set for status, and we respectfully request a ruling on the issue.
All right. Yes, sir, Mr. Shattuck.
Your Honor, the problem with this case from the very beginning is that it's been based on total miscommunication by the insured and our client. When our client, UPC Insurance Company, went out to look at the damage, Ms. Quesada told them the only damage that there was to 2 outbuildings on her property. They looked at those 2 outbuildings. They were badly damaged. The damage was far in excess of the policy limits for that, which was coverage B. And so they said, okay, we'll pay the limits of coverage B. They were never told anything about any damage to the primary dwelling of the house. And so they had no idea about that. And so once they tendered the limits, then after that, Mr. Garcia entered an appearance or sent a notice of his representation, and almost immediately they requested an appraisal. But what we didn't realize is that they were asking for an appraisal on the main house, which we never even looked at. And so therefore, this has never been right. We told them that from the beginning, that it's not right and that we shouldn't be here, because under the contract, They have to give us an opportunity to go out there, inspect the residence, determine what we thought the value of the damages were. And then if there was a disagreement, they could invoke the appraisal process. But the appraisal language clearly states that there has to be a disagreement over the amount first before the appraisal can be invoked. And I've cited a number of cases in my briefing where they have to follow the contract.
Your Honor, may I respond?
Yes, ma'am.
Regardless of whether they had noticed back in 2020, it's now 2022. And as the process has continued and gone on, they've had countless reminders, countless notices that there was damage to the main house. They sent a William Ferguson out there. My client is an 80-year-old Spanish-speaking woman. I don't know if she pointed her finger directly at the main house, but the insurance company and the appraiser that they sent out there had a duty to look at everything. They admitted in their brief, that they looked and they inspected all of the dwellings on the property. And they also said that eventually it became clear that Quesada was seeking to have the value of the dwelling subject to appraisal. So obviously they had notice. Respondent wants to drag this out, go through litigation, discovery. My client is 80 years old. She's been living in a damaged house for 2 years. I think this has dragged out long enough, and we respectfully request the court to rule on this issue today.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I appreciate the problems for her client, but the problem is that we weren't the ones that caused the delay. If at any time Mr. Garcia would have just acknowledged that it was it was an additional claim, then it could have been handled 2 years ago. Our appraiser consistently told them that it wasn't right for appraisal, and yet they just continued on as if ignoring him and not doing anything about that. And I don't know all the communications that occurred between the attorneys, and I'm not going to make any statement of that because I wasn't handling it at that point. But the contract should still be upheld and abided by, and I don't think that there's anything that we've done to waive it, because our appraiser has always taken the position that it was not right for appraisal.
I mean, just to respond briefly,
Yes.
there's been a lot, we submitted a lot of emails between the appraisers, between the umpire. There was UPC's appraiser has just refused to go out to the property and inspect. Jorge Luis Ortegon went out there, he walked into the property, he appraised it, and he issued an award. And that's all I was gonna respond to that.
All right, then let me go. So everybody's already submitted some memorandum as well, right? Aside from the
That's
argument.
correct, Your Honor.
Okay, the court's gonna have to review that hopefully this week. I think I can do it this week and come up with a response next week. So thank you so much for your attention here and your attendance. And court will take this matter under advisement. Okay, you all may be excused. You all have a great day. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we have
On number 7, we're waiting for Diana Aguilar and Sunny Palacios. I don't know if
all right.
Ms. Aguilar is in the court.
I'm here, Judge.
All right. Good morning, Ms. Aguilar. We're waiting also on Sunny Palacios.
He is a party judge, or he's the opposing attorney.
All right. I don't see him in the courtroom nor here in the waiting room. And so, I was going to ask Bailey for staff if they heard anything from him.
I'm calling his office, Judge, right now.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, there is no response from Mr. Sonny Palacios. I can call out his name 3 times if you wish. Outside?
But he's the attorney, right?
Yes, Judge.
Yeah, let me find out if he's going to show up or not. We're going to make a phone call to the office. All right. Aguilar, is he still in the case?
I think so, Judge, yes.
Is Mr. Palacios still in the case? Yeah.
Yes, as far as I
Okay.
know, I haven't received any notices.
Okay. And the parties, who are the parties?
My client is Alberto Lopez, Your Honor. He's the father.
Alberto Lopez, I see him in the screen. And then Melissa Soto,
Yes, I'm Melissa Soto.
you're also the other party, right? And who's your attorney, ma'am?
Mr. Palacios.
All right, now we're waiting for him, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Judge, I just called his office and they're gonna ask him to log in.
All right. Very well. Should be logging in any minute now.
Yes, sir.
I think I have mine on mute. I'm sorry. Can you guys hear me? Okay, thank you.
It's gonna be on, I see him in the waiting room. And he's logging in.
Good morning, Judge Sunny.
Yes, sir. Good morning, Mr. Palacios. You're here on this one, and so is Ms. Aguilar on F4740-14-4 in the interest of Alberto Brandon Lopez.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning. Diana Fuentes,
All right.
Mr. Lopez.
All right. And what do we have here? You said what, a motion to terminate?
Yes, Your Honor. We have a temporary order in place. It's been in place for almost a year already, Judge. And in the temporary order, Ms. Soto's required to pay child support to my client. My client no longer has an obligation to pay. However, the Attorney General keeps withdrawing from his checks. So they haven't honored the temporary order. My understanding is that they are holding the money. They're not dispersing it, but they're still withdrawing it from Mr. Lopez. So I'm asking the court to sign an order terminating their authority to withhold.
Okay, terminating to withhold. Okay, I wasn't clear as to what we were trying to terminate here. Parental rights or something like that or whatnot.
No,
Okay,
No.
it's the terminating the right to withhold. That's what it is.
that's it. Yes, Your Honor.
That's correct.
All right. Is that the understanding, Mr. Palacios?
That's correct, Judge.
All right, court will take judicial notice to the entire file in F4740-14-4 in the interest of Alberto Brandon Lopez, the child, and court will go ahead and grant the motion. Did you have an order already on file?
Judge, I usually file them, but I'm not positive I did because it's not one I do often, but if not, I'll file it by the end of the day.
All right, then it'll be signed upon a received.
And
Yes, sir.
And I'll just ask that it be forwarded to us and both parties will sign it, Judge.
All right, the board party will sign. That'll work.
I'll do that.
Okay, thank you all very much. You'll have a great day. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Judge.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, 9 o'clock.
May I
All right,
speak?
we stand recessed till the next docket what time?
Close